Hello folks, today I thought I'd share with you the recent project I've been working on to install a central shop vac system in my shop. Here in the video you see the simple little Craftsman clean and carry. I mounted it to the wall between my garage doors out of the way, and it's central to the shop. My building is 28 by 36. The clean and carry comes with its own mounting bracket, so I attach the bracket to the wall and then lock the power head into the wall mount bracket. Very simple to do. Below you can see that black mechanism below is a remote control or remote starter that I added for my unit so that I can start it wherever I'm at in the shop. I'll come back to that in a few minutes. Once I had the unit mounted, I simply had to start running 2-inch PVC. Right here, this adapter I had to make by taking a piece of 2-inch PVC, a coupler. I put it in my lathe and turned it down. I'll show that to you in more detail also in a few minutes. So I started outside of the adapter with a 90 degrees broad sweep corner. If anyone pursues this solution in their shop, don't use the tight 90s. Because they'll be clog prone. So use the gentle sweeps and the broad sweeps. And I simply ran it up through this union so that I can break the system apart if I have to remove the power head. So I can just spin this right off, as you can see here, and I can break the system apart, and it seals up nice and tight. Then I just started running PVC. I had to make a 90 degree, as you can see at the ceiling there, around my recent project to hang the Unistrut shelving unit. That's in a different video that I showed you earlier. And then I simply went up to the ceiling and started running the PVC. I did mount the straps that you can see at the ceiling to the framing, the roof structure, so it's bolted in nice and tight. You can see in this shot right here where I stubbed it out with a Y so that I can continue on to the right if I wish to later on for expansion purposes. Right now I have 2 drops. Here's the first one you can see. That's 68 inches off the floor to the bottom of the drop, and you can see the hose for the system connects. This is the original hose that came with the power head. As you can see here, I simply cut a groove around for now so that this clip, the clip on the hose, attaches right in. It's actually quite sturdy and has worked very well for me. So that's the first drop. The second drop then continues on over, and you can see here where I also stubbed it out. If I need to continue on and do something different in the future, it's easier to do that now than later. Have to cut and resize the pipe. And here's my second drop, which is over my workbench. And you can see the little cap I made, just a piece of 2-inch PVC cap. I cut I don't know, I think about 3 or 4 inch piece of 2-inch PVC, glued it together, and it's a friction fit, and that works fine for capping it off. So that's the basic run, and again I did design it with expansion in mind for when I want to continue on with it. I think the next thing I'll show you is the fitting that I had to turn in my lathe for the transition between the power head and a 2-inch PVC, and I'll also do a little more detail here on the remote starter. Here's the adapter that I made for the power unit. This end goes into the exhaust, or the intake rather, port of the power unit, and obviously it's a snug fit, or a friction fit rather, into the 90 degree sweep. I pulled this off of the system here just a moment ago to give you a little bit better view of it. It's just a friction fit. Once I break the connection at the union, this basically twists right out. This piece here, you can tell where I've turned it on the lathe. I didn't spend a lot of time trying to get a really nice finish on the PVC. PVC is tough to turn, it gets real stringy. I believe I used here, this is a few months ago when I cut this, but I believe I just used a regular piece of 2-inch PVC. Cut it to length, sized it, turned it down, and measured as I went to make sure I got a nice snug fit. And it's actually worked quite well. So that's how I adapted the 2-inch PVC 90-degree general sweep to the power head. Here's the remote starter for the power unit for the dust collector. Got this off of, I think, Amazon, $18-20 bucks. It is a remote controlled unit. Here's the remote, and I'll show you how it works. See the red pilot light that came on when the unit went active? Obviously the idea is you carry this on your person. I have a 28 by 36 foot shop, so it's pretty large, and wherever I'm at in the shop, I don't have to go back to the power unit to turn it on. This remote, by the way, was designed for small dust collector systems for woodworking shops, so it's got plenty of current capability for what I'm using. I've had this unit running now this way for a couple of months, and I've had no problems with being able to handle the startup or continuous run. The only concern I have with this unit is the buttons are quite vulnerable, and depending on where you carry it and which pocket you might have it in, it's real easy to bump this and turn on your vacuum when you're not intending to. I'm going to try to figure out what to do about that, but right now I just have to be careful where I carry it on my person so it's not bumped mistakenly. It's happened to me a couple of times, and now that I'm aware of it, I'm sensitive as to where I keep this and carry this. I have found the right front pocket doesn't work real well because I bump it all the time. Even inside my pocket I bump this. These buttons are exposed. They sit above the surface. It would have been better if they were recessed. That's the only concern I have with the remote control. Other than that, it works fine, and it does what I intended it to do, and it was reasonably inexpensive. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.